Now, we also learned that the entropy, total entropy will always remain constant. The universe entropy is always increasing, but for a particular system under consideration, we will say the entropy of the system plus the entropy of the surrounding is the sum total of the total entropy, and it remains constant. It will always be equal to the total entropy of the system and the surrounding. Then how we can say that the entropy of the universe is increasing? It is always increasing and it will never decrease. That is a law. You can say that is a natural tendency, the nature's law, that the universe is always showing an increase in entropy, never a decrease. Now, question comes in our mind, is there no system where we observe a decrease in entropy? Yeah, there is a system, and that is a fairly imaginary system. We will come to it a little bit later. What about the units of entropy? The units of entropy or change in entropy units are joules per Kelvin. Now, when a system interacts with its surroundings and the surrounding is now at a higher temperature than the system, then what happens? The energy flows from the surrounding to the system. By second law we have seen, temperature is high for one body and for another body temperature is low. Heat flows from the higher temperature body to the lower temperature body. So, if we say that the system temperature is T system and the surrounding temperature is T surrounding, then a small change in entropy of the system ds is given by dq upon T system. Again, D surrounding, that is a small change in the entropy of the surrounding, will be given by minus dq upon T surrounding. Why minus? Because it is decreasing, it is giving to the system. Heat is flowing from the surrounding to the system. So, entropy is decreasing for the surrounding, and that is why it is minus dq upon T surrounding. What about that of the universe? The total, you can say. So, ds of the universe, the total change in universe entropy is ds of the system plus ds of the surrounding. ds is a small change in entropy. T system is, remember, the absolute temperature and not the degree Celsius temperature of the system. T surrounding is the absolute temperature of the surrounding. So, substitute the values of ds system and ds surrounding from on top. We get dq upon T system plus dq upon T surrounding, ignoring the sign. So, ds universe will always be greater if T surrounding is greater than T system. So, the inequality sign holds good if there is any irreversibility present in the process. This statement is usually called the principle of entropy increase. That means when a process is spontaneous and going on to completion, there will be no decrease in entropy. So, that is the principle of entropy increase. The equality sign will hold good when the process undergone by the system is reversible, that is, the process has reached almost equilibrium. Thus, we conclude that for an isolated system, ds is greater than 0 for irreversible processes, ds is less than 0 for reversible processes, implying that equilibrium exists, and ds is less than 0, the process is impossible. So, equal to 0, greater than 0, less than 0. Equal to is equilibrium, greater is spontaneous, irreversible, less it is not possible. Next, we will see the relationship between work done and entropy in an isolated system. The first law says du is equal to dq minus dw. That is a mathematical expression. dw is nothing but pdv if there is a change in volume, and for a reversible process dq is equal to tds, we just saw. Then if you substitute these two values in the equation of the first law of thermodynamics, we have du is equal to tds minus pdv. If the process is isochoric, if volume is equal to 0, that means change in volume is 0, volume is constant, then pdv is equal to 0, and the whole equation reduces to du is greater than equal to tds. Depending on the process is irreversible, that is why we put the greater than sign, or reversible, that means equal to sign, because then it will reach equilibrium. We next need to learn another important term in thermodynamics, and that is the Gibbs free energy and spontaneity of a reaction related to it. Gibbs free energy is again a state function. It is denoted by G capital. It is a thermodynamic quantity equal to the enthalpy of a system or process minus the product of the entropy and the absolute temperature. What is that? That is G is equal to H minus T into S. Now, what is so free about this energy? Gibbs free energy is so called because it is the free or the available energy in the system under isothermal or isobaric conditions for doing work by the system on the surrounding. Since absolute G values cannot be determined, changes in the free energy as a system goes from one state to another becomes important. So, changes in the Gibbs free energy is denoted by delta G. What remains to be understood is now the relationship between spontaneity of a reaction, the energy available in the system to do work, the enthalpy of the system and the enthalpy of the reaction, and whether the reaction is exothermic or endothermic. We will start deriving how delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S.